morning, Jim Jones.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Oh yeah, well, you know, now I mentioned before you're the big cheese at the Historical Society. That's the Moore County Historical Society, and what's your title over there?
Actually, I'm small cheese.
Small cheese.
Vice president.
Vice president. Well, that's pretty big. That's you know, I mean, it's like Chris Dunn from the Arts Council. He comes in, and I said he was big cheese, and he said, well, I'm the Limburger, the stinky cheese.
Well, they may think of me in that way. I thought of it that way.
All right. Well, but now, Sue Pockmeyer called me and said, you know, there's a cemetery in the Historical Society. I know that you folks have a big flea market type thing. Boy, we always get some good stuff out of there, too. Right, at the Shaw House?
Oh, the annual Shaw House Fair, which will be coming up in October, correct?
Yeah,
it's a great time.
Yeah.
Hope everybody comes out.
Yeah, and it's all kinds of cool stuff there, and that's like an all-day thing. And so I highly recommend that. We always buy something over there. There's something, you know, antiques or whatever. I bought, I collect N-scale model railroads, and I bought a whole bunch of stuff. Last year.
That. Yes, the entire box.
Yeah,
good for you.
And a big track layout and everything, and yeah, so I was glad to get that. Right, a good price too. All right, so what's going on with this cemetery?
Well, being spearheaded by Susan Pockmeyer, the Kenneth Black Cemetery, which is on private property right now, but we're in the process of making sure it's maintained and protected.
All right, Kenneth Black. All right, and who was he?
Well, Kenneth Black, for the local history, was a Scotsman who immigrated from the Isle, I believe, of Jura, which is considered a Highland Scot, with his family. Actually, as a boy, I think Malcolm and Catherine might have been his father and mother, excuse me, and first came to the Fayetteville area, Cumberland County, and eventually Kenneth came over to Moore County.
Oh, all right. All right. Yeah,
and
so
married.
There's a heavy Scottish settlement around Moore County. Is that correct?
Tremendous Highland Scot.
Yeah.
Tremendous history with the Highland Scots in this area, Fayetteville, Scotland County, of course, even Richmond,
yeah.
and on, and yes.
Right.
Yes.
And they have like the Highland Games and stuff. Is that in Lumberton or somewhere?
I think Red Springs area,
Oh,
and they
okay.
also have one up in the mountains at Grandfather. But
All
yes,
right.
tremendous Highland Scot presence.
All right. So Kenneth Black came over here and was one of the settlers, but this so he's buried in this cemetery.
Correct, and along with other family members, which we're hoping to get donations and find the graves of the rest of the family.
Oh, all right. So you don't know how many people are buried in there?
We think there's between 50 and 60. 21 has been acknowledged, and unfortunately, the stones through the years have been stolen. So now there's flags to designate the grave sites.
All right. Now, how do you find a grave site? You know, I mean.
Well, at great expense.
All right. So, and that's why you're here.
Well, somewhat. In past times, some of the graves have been located, but to do a thorough search of this graveyard, historic graveyard, may I say, because Kenneth Black is quite the individual who came into contact with great personalities in our area.
Yeah.
So,
and when did he die? I mean, how old is this cemetery?
this area, it's 234 years old.
Wow.
Yes, right during the Revolutionary War, when it was truly neighbor against neighbor in this area.
Yeah. And where is it? I mean, it's in Southern Pines?
Well, the best to tell you, there's a dirt road between Chick-fil-A and the Chamber of Commerce. It leads down maybe a quarter of a mile, and I will say the best kept secret in Moore County.
Oh, all right. Now, aren't they doing some land clearing? And I mean, there's an awful lot of things going on with bulldozers and stuff. I mean, even right outside the window here. And is that going to be an impact on this cemetery?
Oh, absolutely.
All right. Now, they can't just build over that, right?
Well, I think any time you're trying to preserve a historic site, you work with the developers. It is on private land, and we understand that. And we're just working with the developer and hopefully to at least a section of it to be maintained in its integrity, and but understand that progress does come and it will be developed.
Yeah. All right. Now, can you move them? I mean, I don't know if, well, if there's 50 or 60 of them, you probably want to just preserve the land. And I mean, if they're in their final resting place, that's probably what you want to do, is just leave them right where they are, right?
That is the best solution. And from what I hear, once again, Sue has been on the spearhead of this protection of this site. I think the developer wants to
preserve it?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes, the graves can be moved, but that's a complicated issue, and I don't know that that would be in the best interest for this site.
Yeah, I know there was one in Ohio where they had to look and see if there were any living descendants and find them and tell them, what they wanted to do. I mean, and it was absolutely a nightmare. So what they did was they left them where they were and just built went the other direction.
And that's a great point. We, the Moore County Historical Association, has taken on the legal rights to the cemetery, which was, I guess, by heirs of the Black family. There's a couple of brothers who tried to maintain this site over the years and just to sure it just did not disappear, but they're become up in age and have gave us the legal right to protect the cemetery. Yeah. I guess that's the way to put it.
All right. Now, can I walk back there and take a look at this place? What will I see if I go down that little dirt road between Chick-fil-A and the chamber?
Well, thanks to certain members of the association, you could actually find it. Before, it was a little bit overgrown with nice poison ivy, which I was introduced to, and grapevines and shrub oaks. But now it's a rather pleasing setting. It's been cleared away. The walls have been rebuilt. I think even Sue brought a bench out there so you can sit and ponder the history of the area.
All right. So are there still stones, or is everything marked with flags?
Unfortunately, during time, the original stones have disappeared. Every one of them. There may be one left, but it's kind of
all right. Might be buried or something, yeah.
However, back in the 70s, I believe for the sale of this property, a bank intervened and put this fabulous granite marker for Mr. Black's grave and another one to sort of give it a testimonial to his history. Stuck back in the middle of the woods, plopped down in this scrub oak and rough place, but it's they're quite interesting to see that what was done at that time.
Right.
So there is something to see back there, and a little history on one of the markers.
All right. Now, if I wanted to join the Moore County Historical Society, can I do that?
Oh, absolutely. We encourage you don't have to be from this area, and a great number of our members are from other parts of the country, and it's encouraged, yes. It's an all-volunteer operation, no donations from the state, no town give us money. It's really by, as you spoke earlier about the Shaw House Fair and the goodness of individuals' pocketbooks.
Yeah,
that keeps this organization going.
All right, so you have members?
Oh, absolutely.
And how many?
I was going to say maybe around 300 plus.
Wow. Well, that's pretty good.
That sounds good, but of course we maintain 5 historic houses, 3 to 4 historic outbuildings, and I assure you, when you got buildings dated from the 1750s to 1820s, it's like non-stop maintenance, and we would certainly.
Well, of course, sure. Now, can I volunteer without being a member of the...
Absolutely.
Okay. All right.
We would love to have more volunteers. Though not, some people say, oh, I only can do this much time. I can't, I don't want to... No, if you could give an hour a week, an hour every now and then, 2 hours a month, it would be greatly appreciated in the many endeavors that...
And what kind of opportunities, volunteer opportunities are there?
Well, we're always looking for somebody who has some sort of maintenance skills. That's
so if I got a hammer and some nails.
But other individuals, I think we have a huge soap sale operation that we print our own labels, package it, box it, and shipped around the country, which is a big money maker.
I've given those as gifts, and they really are nice.
They're absolutely charming, and with the creative labeling, and they're great study.
Right. And, all right, so now, how can I contact the society, and how can I get some soap, and how can I volunteer, and how can I, you know?
Well, a simple way, you can call the number 692-2051 and say, hey, what do I do? However, a website is www.morehistory.com.
Morehistory.com.
Correct. Right. Or if you just can't remember none of that, just get your computer and punch in Moore County Historical. It'll take you to a site and lead you down the road.
All right. Is there a telephone listing if you don't have a computer? Are you in the telephone book?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
Right.
Yes. We have a great, this is one of the oldest historical associations in the state. It really has a long and great history.
All right. And if I wanted to come and knock on your door, where is that door? Is it at the Shaw House? Or?
Now, the Shaw House is the headquarters, even though we are the Moore County Historical Association. The Shaw House is our office, and we do maintain a part-time secretary and also docents to give you a tour of the property.
Cool. All right. Yeah, and that's October is what you said when the what do you call it?
The Shaw House Fair.
The Shaw House Fair.
And we also don't want to forget our other properties out in the farther out in the county, the Blind House and the McLendon Cabin, and they always have an annual event during the spring, a little farther out, maybe not as well known, but we should not forget that great property and their great history.
All right, and they have a similar fair at those?
Correct. Yes, they do. But once again, maybe not as well known, but great event.
Well, if we never get Sue to talk on the air, then maybe we'll have her come in sometime and advertise some of those.
Well, if we could get Sue on there, she would be electrifying.
I think so, but she doesn't think so. Jim Jones, thank you for coming in this morning and telling us about that, right? And if you can help these people out, I mean, it's history.
It truly is our history, and our history needs to be understood, because there was history before golf, believe it or not, in our area.
All right, the Moore Historical Society.
That's good. Moore County Historical Society. Moore County Historical is. It doesn't matter as long as you call us.
All right, give me that number again, please.
That is 692-2051.
All right, 692-2051. Jim Jones, the Big Cheese at the Moore County Historical Society. Thank you for coming in this morning.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, you bet.